videos. Doing a little live stream today from Washoe County. We're having a meeting with County Manager Brown, and if you can't tell by the title what my thoughts are on him. Anyways, we're going to be talking about elections, what's going on, hopefully asking him a bunch of questions, and seeing what's going on with our Registrar of Voters. It's supposed to run the elections that he recently told was too stressed out. Had a meeting, she was going to take a leave of absence, and magically a couple days later her job was posted for a new position to be hired. So my opinion is he fired her and publicly told the people that she was having a health issue, and that'll affect her future and her career, which is, I think, a pretty horrible thing. Anyways, let's go inside and see what they're doing with this meeting that we got going. See what we got here.
I'm not positive, but I think whatever.
George, how are you?
Hey, good seeing you, sir.
Good seeing you.
Yeah,
How's it going?
good. So if you want, I mean, it's an open house, so feel free to,
Okay.
yeah, feel free to move around,
No,
change your
I'll
angle,
take some pictures of it.
however you want to, yeah.
So what is that thing?
So this is our new poll pad system. So this is how voters get checked in during the election. So when you go to a vote center, in the past it was that laptop and there's like a sign-in sheet.
Right.
Now it's these. So this is how we look you up in the registration. We get your name, sign you in, print your card out, voter card, and send you off to the.
How is this better?
Well, I mean, it's integrated with our new VM system. So as you know, there's a top-down solution that was implemented by the state. Coincides directly with that.
What is VREMS? What does that mean?
It's the voter registration election management solution.
Voter registration election management solution, which was required. Why?
That's a whole bunch of statutes and passed by the legislation, and it's been implemented by the Secretary of State's office.
So it was all required by law. But
Yeah, it was passed
how
by-
much did this cost?
I don't have an answer for that one. I'm not familiar with the cost of it, but I know a lot of it was in part by the state.
So the state paid for a part of it, and we don't know how much all of it cost, though.
Yeah, not me personally. Someone definitely does, but I don't have it off the top of my head.
Who would have the cost on it?
I would imagine that would be something with the treasurer's office might have any of the, if there's any purchase orders or grants or anything like that.
So you'd have to do a public records request?
I imagine so.
Okay. And do you think this is faster or easier? Or how does it make it, like I said, how does it make it better?
Well, it's all integrated. So if you want, we can get you registered to vote. We don't have any of our actual registration loaded onto here.
Right.
It's just a test environment. So if you want to come around over on this side, we can get you registered.
So that's the operator side, and this is the consumer side.
Yeah. So, and that's the nice thing is it's going to flip back and forth a lot. So, we'll say, go on the other side.
Okay.
You want to pop up there? Oh, I'd love to.
So you do what? Get started.
Yes, so you get started. So, let's see.
Election
So I'll
officer.
sign in.
Don't tell me your private code there.
So, for here, we won't have.
We got the security guy upstairs. Nice.
If we were.
Yeah, I've met him a few times.
Yeah. Let's see. So we'll start here. And granted, I'm not the expert on that. She is, but she's occupied with the Oscars. So you would essentially choose an option here, so you can choose what ID you have. So for this example, we'll say driver's license. So then from there, I think driver's license is 11 digits, I believe.
What if you don't have a driver's license?
So other form of identification.
What other forms do we accept for identification?
Here are the options.
So, because this is, so you'll take a tribal ID, Nevada DMV interim document,
I think I'm
none of the above. So this is to register though. So if you have none of the above, if you don't have any identification, how do you register? How do you
And that
how do you prove, what do you need to prove to register?
Sure. That would be a good question for her. So I might have you hold that question for her so she can answer it more thoroughly. So she's one of our election specialists that actually trains a lot of our poll workers on how to operate this. So she might be able to answer that question for you. But I would say, it's worth noting that whenever you register to vote, even if you have an ID on you, it is a provisional ballot. So it's not something that's cast in the system. So it's held as provisional until we can verify that citizenship, that residency within Washoe County. So and again, that goes for everybody. So even if you show up with all the documentation in the world, I got my ID, I got my social security, I got my driver's license, I got my birth certificate, I got everything, right? It still is cast by a provisional ballot because we have to go through and we have to verify all that.
Okay. And what if you don't have any ID or anything like that? So how do we discern when somebody comes and says, I don't have any ID, but I want to vote? Because there's no ID required to vote, right?
Well, obviously, citizenship is required to vote.
Okay, so where is the state picking up on if you're a citizen or if you're not a citizen? Where is the county picking up on citizenship or no citizenship? How do you confirm that only citizens are voting?
Again, that's not my specialty in dealing with a lot of that. I would say if you want to ask Valerie about your questions for that whenever she's available, I think she would be a good person to answer.
Okay. Well,
sorry, I mean,
no, that's okay.
I'm not the vote
I know. I'm just
specialist, right?
I'm just questions are coming up, and you're here, so I appreciate you answering.
It's a good question. As I've spoken with you about it, the bottom line is it's a U.S. citizen, Washoe County resident, and I think resident of that location for I believe it's 30 or 10 days. I'm not mistaken. One of those two.
The previous affirmation is saying.
And from there, again, you can cast a provisional ballot, and then it's later verified with our office through our registration system.
We send you
So the state, we go through all that, try to make sure they're good, and once we can verify all those things, then we can cast that ballot. It turns from a provisional into an actual ballot that gets cast.
And counted, maybe.
Are you an American with Disabilities?
Me? No, but she is.
So you were sitting the other night at the rally
Yes.
in a seat for disability.
No, I was with my woman over there, who, if you go out to our car, has a blue little hang tag hanging from it, and if you look at her foot right there, do you see what she's wearing on her foot?
Yeah, I was with people who had disabilities.
Yeah, so
too,
was
but
I.
I
Okay.
stood up.
I tried to stand. I tried to stand up, and I was standing up until they brought over a chair and told me to sit down.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate the criticism and you watching out for other people.
I'm just asking. I saw you.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Would we agree that she's probably a little disabled? Thanks. Thank you, Karen. How you doing? Good to see you again.
Signature using these, where does it look right? Even there, I'm like, I gotta flood it a little bit. It's close.
Because you're the attorney dude that was there. Okay, yeah.
Like missing something in there, then it's double.
I'm bad at names, but I'm Drew.
Yeah, true. The interface here. I write on a paper, pen on a piece of paper, that feeling that is unique to kind of how it is. Does that make sense?
It does. And I think one thing too is obviously the way that we train our poll workers is when we are doing the signature verification video, if that's the training, right? It's put on by the Secretary of State, we have them do it. We're looking for defining and distinguishing characteristics because none of us sign our name the same way every time, right? So there's a whole list of characteristics that we're looking to compare against. If it's not
You mean in
a
terms
match,
of forensic signature verification?
right. So if it's not a match, we then do have to try to identify you, right? If it's not a match, we have to either grab your ID or we can get some other information to verify that. So at this point, they would compare the signatures and we'd say, okay, that matches. And then we have another poll worker confirmation page, so the election worker just looks this over. They hit submit, and then we from here activate a card and it prints one out. And then we send you to the location.
So this is going to compare, bring up the comparative signature that I put on my voter registration form.
Yes.
Correct? Okay. All right.
Correct.
Because and if for some reason I failed the initial signature, I flub it by accident. Is that the only reference, or do you get to use the secondary signature?
So you on this screen have you have multiple chances. If you sign your signature, you can hit clear.
How's it going?
Well, how are you?
We all woke up again, so life is good.
Yep, we're on the right side of the dirt.
That's all you need.
I just want to come and say hi.
I appreciate it, man.
If it does, it'll go through and then we're able to
you're the election
Is that
specialist.
the only
right?
instance where you
So you
request
can
an
walk me
ID?
through how to vote or how to register.
Is that the only instance where you might request someone's ID?
No, so
If we have a registration.
it's, if your signature doesn't match, we have to make sure that you are who you are, so then we'll ask for an ID at that point. Additionally, before we go out to the polls, we do a lot of list maintenance. If there are voters that have to show ID, they get flagged on here, and I'll show you as ID required. So some voters get flagged as ID required. So if I
What
search,
constitutes the need for that designation?
if we had not identified them or they've provided incomplete information, before we can let them go and say, hey, we need to see, we need to true up your face. Another one too, if someone registers online yesterday for same-day registration and then they come in, we have not seen them. So we have to
I've got a real life
verify.
example.
Sure.
My son's in college in Atlanta, and I think like yesterday he finally called in and said, "Oh, by the way, I'm changing my address so you can mail me my ballot in
Right.
college." And then he got his email
So I'll
address.
give you my fake ID.
But I mean, you know, here you've got a kid who's been registered for the last couple of years and lives here in Washoe, but he's in school right now and hasn't bothered to give you that forwarding address. So he just did that yesterday. So I can appreciate the challenges of keeping things when you've got kids like that updating at the last minute and people moving in. So what is the end of if you just move into the county or into the state from out of state, and there's a residency requirement? I mean, you can register at any time. But really, how does the residency requirements play out in terms of some
Sure.
of this?
So let me
It seems
show
like
you.
anybody can come in and say, particularly in the presidential race, that goes to that separate ballot that we were talking about.
Okay, real quick, I want to go back to what you had asked about earlier. So
I'm
you
sorry.
asked about, this might be a person who gets asked about ID. So we have, oops, let me go back. So this person, go back, yes, my information is correct. She registered yesterday, right?
Okay.
Presumably, and then when she comes into the polls, the system flags this type of registrant. We haven't seen her, she has not come in. We must ask Carol for an ID, or else she...
Oh, it's a first-time voter.
Right. Or,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
she
right.
recently registered.
First-time voter, right,
She did it
right, right.
online, it got transmitted. I don't know what she looks like. So this will prompt the election worker. This person cannot vote until we verify their identity. So it gets flagged as that, and then we have to check one of the valid IDs. If she does give us one, she proceeds. If she doesn't, it marks it as something being required for her to turn into our office. So either way, this voter will vote a provisional ballot, and then it will just have different instructions per situation.
I guess that's the question about the provisional ballot. What did this provisional ballot, does this person who's been here less than a month, let's say, but you give them a provisional ballot, will they be able to vote on all the races?
It's
all
a
the
full
local,
contest,
full
correct.
contest one?
But they still have to true up. They have to be a resident for 30 days. They have
Okay,
to
they have to be a
provide-
resident 30 days.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
you
important to
still
know.
have to have all of the same
See, in a
requirements.
presidential race, though, you don't have to be a resident of 30 years to vote in a presidential race.
No, but so any provisional ballot that we now do is a full ballot, though.
Okay,
So
but if
it's-
you're from out of state and you happen to be in Las Vegas for a convention, you're like, oh gee, I left my ballot at home, I'm not able to vote in my ballot,
Can't
I
do
want to
it.
vote in the presidential race, give me a presidential ballot.
Can't
That's
do
federal
it.
law says they get it. Federal law says they get
Well, the
it. You
HAVA
cannot deny them a federal ballot on a presidential race.
So
You're out of
I would
state.
have-
That's all.
Okay, yeah, I would have to go back and look because I'm pretty sure that the way that these are set up is that the HAVA provisional ballots, all of those are going to be full contest, and you
Yeah,
have
well,
to.
that's a problem if you're not a resident, but your non-residents are allowed to vote in the presidential race. So I think there's an issue the Secretary of State needs to clarify for us, all of us.
Maybe.
Because I'm just confused about that as well.
Okay.
I don't want somebody from out of state who happens to be on vacation voting in a local election.
Right.
Just because they happen to be there.
Right.
And that's kind of the way it seems to be set up, and I don't think that's
However, the
appropriate.
way that provisional ballots go is that they do not get cast if they have
I know,
not.
they're counted late if they're verified. And
Yeah, so then at that point, even if they did count it, that provisional ballot, if they did not true up the information to say that they are rightfully registered here, it won't get cast.
Absolutely.
Right.
Correct. Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
So this is one example of somewhere where they would have the ID requirement flagged, right? There's a couple others. We'd have to start over. But yeah, Yeah, so here's like an inactive voter. So we get flags based on what we determined prior. When these get loaded up, there are good records, right? Active, no problems. Some people are inactive and need to either change some of their information. These are people who registered online the day before. So it does get filtered through here. And then the actual full pad, it's just a giant workflow, right? So it prompts you to exactly the ballot type that you're supposed to have. It prompts you to exactly the provisional instructions that they're supposed to get. And then we check them in from this.
Can you please show me one more thing?
Sure.
So I assigned my name for signature verification purposes. How are you actually using the system to verify them? What, are you connecting with the server? Can you show me that part of it?
This connects to our voter registration database. So, for example, this guy, Lorna, maybe.
What's your database called? Is it?
It's the total vote. So total vote is
Total
what
vote.
all
Okay.
of us are now
Thank
connected
you.
on
Thank
for
you.
all 17
That's
counties.
run back, isn't it?
No, it's knowing. Rundeck is who does
Oh, knowing.
the
Okay.
ballot
Okay.
certification.
All right.
So
Almost as bad.
this person says, yeah, I accept that voting twice is a crime. They confirm their information. This person says, yes, I say my information is correct. And then we'll say, Lorna, go ahead and please sign your signature. I can't do it upside down. Lorna will sign, and then after this, the poll worker will compare the historical signatures. So this is the last updated signature on file.
Okay.
And then on the bottom, we're taking what was just
Oh, no,
signed,
you're good.
and we compare
You just added to the
and then
picture.
there's more chance to compare here as well. And then after
I'll look forward to it.
People like to see everything that's going on around.
That's cool. I think
That's what gets the views.
One concern as a voter, and I don't. This is not the solution for it, but how do I know that my signature on file is accurate, is the right one? Do I need to update it? Because I don't have access to it.
Unless you want me in your
now.
picture, I can stay out of it too if you want.
I'm getting your
My tendency is not to camera.
Oh, okay, cool.
How do I know? What does it look like? How would I have access
you
to
can
my
come in
historical?
and have us check. We can show
Oh, really?
you, right?
Oh, that's cool.
We
That's
can
cool.
show you, but as far as what comes on
No,
here,
I wouldn't expect that here.
yeah,
No,
because this is just what we
Can't
have
do that
last
here.
updated. We might have all the historical signatures from,
We're
even
over here at
20
the
years.
Washoe County
We'll have
Commission
10
building.
Signatures on file every time you sign something.
Right. Well, that's why I was going to ask
Yeah.
you, because I know when you do a mail ballot and there's a signature problem, there are some secondary iterations that we can go through, but that's not offered in person.
In person,
I
we
think it's a little
only
bit
get-
incongruous.
right.
But it's not your problem.
In
Just make a note.
person, we only get the latest updated signature. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
got
the
the
one
card.
that
I
we
didn't fill it out
upload.
because I'm trusting that mine on
Right.
file. I didn't want to send it.
Right. And
I
that's
got a
what we
problem with that.
upload, and then we go from
Oh,
there. So,
are the ballots going to have our signature on the return envelopes? On the outside,
they
not
will.
uncovered?
They will. I know. That's not, it helps make the process faster.
Wow.
We're checking ballots in and.
You've got a special sorter with a laser cutter that'll open that thing slicker than snot.
Yeah.
You can do it. It's a violation of my public, my private information to expose my signature anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's too much.
Right.
And secretary knows that, and just you're more than welcome to blame it all on the secretary. Because we're looking to blame.
Right.
But I have a problem with that. I don't think it's the right way to
that
do
is
it.
one of those things where, as far as this goes, I don't have any
Your,
jurisdiction.
your,
as far
your
as the
demonstration was
ballot.
fantastic.
Right.
Really, you explained it, and I gave you some tough questions.
Yeah,
Thank you so
no
much.
problem.
Really, that was really
If you have
amazing.
any other questions, just let us know. I'll reset this so the next person can come by.
If you could do that, start from the top.
Sure.
Go for it. That was really amazing. Thank you. I'm going to step back as you answered all my questions really well.
Thank you. Can you just give me a
Oh,
moment?
sure. Thank you once again. Really, thank you. She had all the answers, which she trains the poll workers. This lady, so she knows the systems inside and out, and I thought that was pretty cool.
I wonder if we're going to see.
There's a way that it's connected to the county servers that stores your voter signature images, and she didn't explain that connectivity very well. Because I want to know what the routers are.
She might not know
where
either.
where they're stored. Some of the issues that we have are access logs, connectivity logs. Where's the data coming and going, and who's accessing it? And if we're not archiving that and providing it for us public information, we don't know. It's tinkering in that. You'll never know. It's an Apple. It's built in China. Let's face it.
Just like
Face
they,
it. It's
just
what
like
it
they
is.
were,
It's an
they
Apple
inserted
iPad built in China.
Remember they inserted a thumb drive into the election system.
If you see a thumb drive, run.
There's documentation that they'd put a thumb drive into those machines last time.
Listen, this is light years ahead of what we had, But
Is it-
until we
is
get
it-
to paper ballots at the polls and
Yeah.
election day only voting and that kind of stuff.
What's wrong with going back to the way that we've done it for hundreds of years?
It's our constitutional right because we've consistently had a paper ballot in the state of Nevada.
Yeah.
Right. It's an absolute right. It's you cannot take that away. But now we have two systems of voting, and that's against the constitutional right to a statewide standard, which we voted for and ratified. I think it was 2020. Was the Voters' Bill of Rights got ratified? So it effectively outlawed the DRE voting system. This paper ballots are historically the way we vote in Nevada. Right. Absolutely right. That's our legacy. And yet nobody in the state legislature, I've told them at the legislative committees and stuff, I'm like, you guys got to just figure it out. This is, you outlaw this stuff, forget the stuff, embrace the paper ballots, understand what our rights are, and make it happen. And they go, public, crazy public input. You know, we're not going to listen to the public. You know, they put up their walls. Okay. You know, you try, and sometimes it sinks in.
So I wonder what, let's go see if Mr. McDonald will talk to us. Mr. McDonald, how are you?
Good, how you doing?
Drew Rebar.
Andrew, nice
Andrew?
to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Some questions regarding the election.
Yes.
Probably the biggest one is how do we make sure that illegals aren't registering to vote and voting?
How do we make sure?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's in state statute, right? That we don't have illegals registering to vote.
But how do we ensure that they're not? Because what I talked to Scott Hone over in Carson City.
Yeah.
And have you spoken with him about how the driver's license system and the way that it's coded and all of that stuff, it's very hard to discern.
I have not spoken to him personally.
Yeah, so that was something that I talked to him about, and he brought up as a concern as he gets all this information from DMV that automatically registers people, or say if you go to Social Security and they automatically register people, and you've got all of these outside agencies registering people to vote and then turning that in. So what's the system that the state or the county uses to ensure that those people that registered are actually citizens of the country and live in the county or live in the city? What process is
I
there?
can use this here because Addie's really good at voter registration, more than I am.
I'm Addie. Nice
Hi,
to
Addie.
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So we receive data obviously from the DMV, paper applications, many ways people can register. We do our own verification checks on our side through the DMV database, Social Security, Net Validator, which is through the state. And we check all of those records to verify that they should be allowed to vote because they are citizens. So we validate them against their driver's license, social. We check obviously other things like address, everything like that to make sure that they actually should be registered.
When we go register for a driver's license, it's been a long time since I've done it. What processes do they have in place to ensure that that person is a citizen?
I can't speak to the DMV's processes just because we receive the data from them and we process it accordingly on our side, but
Right.
I don't know on their side.
Yeah, I'm just addressing the concern of before you get the information, if you're not able to verify it, what safeguards do these other agencies have, because there are so many agencies out there registering people to vote now? What safeguards are in place to ensure that these agencies that are giving you the information have done their job and not registering people that aren't citizens of this country?
Yeah. Well, I'll say, so I can't speak to the other agencies, but I can speak to the fact that we get all the data and we check it on our side after we receive it back from them.
Right,
So-
right. But like you said, you check the driver's license information, but does DMV have a process to ensure that they're not registering illegals?
That would be something to ask the DMV.
Right, right.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I just can't speak.
No, I appreciate that. I'm just asking the question and putting it out there because there should probably be a system in place where the county can double check everything itself and ensure it's accurate. Whereas if we can't confirm right now, you can't confirm that other agencies are giving you good information. Do you see where that raises
I
questions?
do, but I can't confirm what we do on our
No,
side.
I'm just raising questions
Yeah. No, I understand.
that are
Yeah.
out there because there've been so many problems in the county with where you're at in your position now with Registrar of Voters. And personally, the Supreme Court ruled that in the last election, the sample ballots were all screwed up and it was not contested. The constitutional rights of the people were violated and the lawful process was violated. So when we have problems in the process like that the Supreme Court of the state of Nevada says are there, it's probably bad not to question the rest of the process. And then when you find things where you can't verify everything, that raises just more questions, I think. you know, I hope you can understand where I'm coming from, because I'm probably not the only one asking these questions.
Yeah, I think it really does start, with the Secretary of State working on the DMV validator to make sure the data is clean. Because as the county's job is we're receiving the data, and yes, it would be great to be able to verify everything before it gets here, and that's what we're kind of assuming, that it is verified, and we're taking the data in and processing it. So, but yes, I do understand your concern.
Do you think Tanya Laney at the DMV, she's the director of the DMV, do you think she would know anything about that?
I would hope so, if she's running the program.
Have you contacted her or had any discussions with her regarding any of these issues?
I have not. And as you may know, I'm not the ROV either.
No, you were the deputy. So.
I am, but that voter registration is also not my department, if you will. It's not my division, and it's not something that we've been brought up to us to do so. It's really, again, the Secretary of State working with the DMV to get the right data in there, and then we'll take the data that they're giving us.
Because you yourself have been put in kind of an interesting position.
Yes, I have.
Do you want to elaborate on any of that at all?
Not really, and I can't, because Carrie's out on a leave of absence, for medical, and so I don't know what the whole story is there. And even if I did, I couldn't speak on it,
right.
But I don't. I hope that she's doing good, and I hope she gets over whatever it is that she's dealing with.
Because County Manager Brown sent out a text message that said she was stressed.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the similar situation as to what happened to the previous registrar back in 2022, was it? Trying to remember right before your time.
Yeah.
But there seems to be a pattern in Washoe County of that happening under County Manager Brown, and I tried to talk to him the other day, and he refused to say anything at all. And again, how do you have the trust of the people in the process when there is apparent turmoil within the system and other questions that are difficult to answer? Sometimes it should probably be pretty straightforward to answer, but I guess that's probably politics for you, right?
I literally try to be as transparent as possible in our office, and we want to be as transparent with folks as much as we can without breaking any kind of rules, like as it relates to cybersecurity rules or IP addresses or something like that. But we want to be as upfront, as transparent as we can.
I appreciate that. I don't know if I got any more questions at the moment. I know what I was going to ask you. Are you going to apply for the permanent registrar of voters position?
I have.
You have? Okay, cool. So your name's in the hat.
It's in the bucket.
It's in the bucket.
We'll
Okay.
see if we get a call in an interview. Hope being positive. I hope so.
Because they're supposed to decide that by December 4th or something like that?
Yeah, it'll be sometime in December.
I think that's what I was reading. Yeah. Do you know if any other people have applied for the position?
I don't.
No?
I don't. I'm assuming a few people have thrown their hats in, so we'll see.
It pays good.
Yeah. So, yeah. But
it's a six-figure job.
For me, more it's about purpose than pay. I don't do this to get rich. No government official here that I know of is rich in the local level. But no, I'm doing it because it's purposeful work.
I know County Manager Brown got a $30,000 bonus. $30,000 bonus is pretty damn good. That's more than some people make.
Yeah. Stressful job though. A lot of stress to be a county manager. Just like president. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to be president.
I run a business, so I don't know.
Okay.
That's where I got my gray hair.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it was great to meet you.
Thank you. I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thanks for talking to my camera.
Of course. Yeah. Anytime.
Just want to let people know what's going on. That's why I started doing this.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Thanks,
and
sir.
I apologize for the sample ballot, by the way. That's unfortunate.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it is unfortunate.
But I was the incumbent, and really my purpose in recording and doing this, and my purpose in running for office, is to make some change.
Yeah.
So whether I won or lost, and I lost, not having my name on the sample ballot versus a very well-known incumbent might have been a factor. I don't know.
Yeah.
He spent $60,000, I spent $2,000. That could be another factor. But I made some change. There's some case law out there that says the county was wrong, and these things hopefully will be watched out for in the future. So I made some change that way, and I've made some other changes because I go out and record.
Yeah.
And so my purpose in doing this is to find things within our government that I record, and then the people that watch it can decide, is this a good thing or a bad thing? And you get a bunch of people behind it, and they can make a change in whatever. So I'm just putting things out there for the public to see, and it's made some changes because the public's spoken out on some stuff.
And that's your
That's my whole thing.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
And
for
it gives you in government a guide. You can go read the comments in YouTube or whatever in the social media sites that we all access now to get most of our information.
Yeah.
And you can go see what are people are saying and what are people thinking, and hopefully that gives people in government a better guide to serving the people.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we're here to do.
Just
serve
my
the
thoughts.
people.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew.
Appreciate it. Yes.
Yes, the election infrastructure. Poll books are part of the election infrastructure. So, I think these things, I'm talking about.
Well, and I always try to help people figure out. It's just more so we all have and it's all the same.
Has a flag that says ID required or inactive. We have different words for that. But yeah, so if we look up someone who has sent in a ballot, and this guy's name is Clint. So some guy comes in and says, "Hey, my name's Clint Barton." Clinton Martin, mail ballot vote. Even if someone wanted to try to actually vote for him, for one, it says here, hey, you already have a mail ballot at the Registrar voter's office back here. If you go here and you hit warning, voting twice is a crime, except it says, Clinton, is this you? And you say, yes, this is me, and then we're locked out. It says mail ballot has been voted. If there's an issue, please call our office. But this right here, this is just, you can't go any further. So there's no indication of that person is locked out from actually being part of it.
So let's do a challenge.
So, let me make sure they have this in here. If a voter is challenged,
And a challenge voter not being the voter that you just.
no, that person has sent a mail ballot. So if it's a mail ballot sent, we have already checked the mail ballot on this half.
This is a challenge, which is signatures, right?
No, a challenge voter is so we have a process in Nevada where someone else can challenge another voter record. So for example, you lived by Bob for 50 years and Bob died, right?
I've often wondered how you do that with voting centers, because we used to vote by precincts, you had to be someone in the precinct to challenge the voter.
You still do.
You can't.
You still do. On the paper,
Okay, but
you
then
have to be in their neighborhood because, right? We can't just take
you can't.
everyone's
Yeah,
word.
but if they
That
vote
whoever's
elsewhere,
challenging is challenging. So for a challenge voter, it comes up like this. Like I was saying, you say that your neighbor died, he should not be voting, right? Perhaps that's why someone might get flagged as challenged. We corroborate it. We do not just take a challenge from anyone who sends it, right? We can't just say, we do look into it though. So a challenge voter, if that person is trying to vote, we'd say, is this you? Yes. And then again, it says flip to the election worker. So at this point, the election worker would be looking at it. Same thing, they're blocked out from voting. They have to verify this with our office. They will call us, and then we will say, hey, that person is either fraudulently trying to vote on behalf of someone, or for whatever reason we've deemed that they can't vote. Whatever one of the issues is for why we have challenged them, we would bring it up with the person and communicate to the poll worker, hey, let that person know they're not going to vote, or they will, or whatever the situation is. But the system does not allow it.
So they would go where to try to.
Our office. So yeah, if
Send them to them.
Yeah, or if we have a reason, let's say on our end, we know that this person is dying, right? And someone is coming in and trying to vote on behalf of this guy. Well, no, that person is not going to vote. We'd also want to know in case someone is trying to, vote on behalf of someone else. So we have to call someone for that.
How do you handle, we had a case once where, we gave her the card, but she didn't want to vote. she still registered a nonpartisan, didn't want to vote on a nonpartisan ballot. This is 6 years ago. So my count is off because I've got one more signature, then I've got a voter. I mean, I noted that.
For
But
a
yeah,
fled voter, right?
Yeah.
We have a process, it's gotten a lot better where.
it's rare, but yeah.
It is rare. So
Yeah.
it would mess up, right? You said, well, I checked in 100 people, but she didn't cast the ballot, right?
She didn't realize till after we gave her the
Yeah.
card, after we'd processed
So
her. Yeah.
the machines now have a setting where if that happens and a card is pulled out, like a voter leaves, the machine will say, starts beeping, enter your card, enter your card. There are two options. Either the voter can resume their voting session and finish, or if they've left, it says cast the ballot. Everything being selected up until that point will be counted.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
It counts, it trues it back up. So it's a nice addition to that.
I guess you like recording me? Why is your hand shaking, dude? Are you nervous? That's kind of interesting. Why do you approach me with a camera when I'm just trying to see what's going on with our voting system and then your hand's shaking? I got no personal animus towards you. Do I make you that afraid?
I'm not afraid.
Then what's your issue? Why are you recording me? I'm recording to put it on YouTube so people can see what's going on with our system. I'm good
All
with
the time.
I'm good
You
with
do it
being
to the
filmed.
librarians, you do it to the election workers.
I do it to everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm good with it. You can put it all over YouTube. I'm good with that.
Give you a sense of power, huh?
No, what it does is it lets people see and make decisions, and it's not just me saying things, it's other people out there expressing their views, acting the way that they do. So for example, like right now, what people are going to see is they know that I'm out here filming. They're going to see some dude that doesn't run a social media channel, that doesn't give information to the public, that's really just trying to come along and say, gee, you film, so I should film you. I'm cool with that.
As a result of your films, people are getting death threats.
Who's getting death threats? So you liberals, because I take it you're a liberal.
Okay.
So are you? No, I'm not name calling. I'm a conservative. I got no issue with it. Do you have a problem with being a liberal? I got no problem being conservative.
Problem? You have
Okay.
a problem being filmed, huh?
Not at all.
Yeah.
I'm on here. Let me see. I'll put myself on my live feed.
There is a plan.
Hey, YouTube.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
bud.
yeah.
Here we go. So here we go. We're all on YouTube now. I got no issue being filmed. But so hey guys, we're on a live stream by the way. So why do you not like me to film? How about 6 years ago?
I'm not saying that I do or I don't. I just want to see how you like it when you do it to other people.
Oh, I'm totally good with it. That's why I'm on camera. You see, that's why if you watch my channel at all, you'll see
Oh, I've
that.
watched your channel.
Oh, good. I appreciate the views. Thank you for the clips. And thank you for the payments that you made to my family. I appreciate it. So, what do you think is important in this election?
Making sure that it's free and not having election workers intimidated, just like what you guys have done to the librarians.
Well, how did I intimidate the librarian?
You know what you've done. Why do you think you were thrown out?
Because I simply brought a camera in there and showed what was going on.
You did a lot.
Another one.
You did a lot more.
I mean, where they locked me in? What did I do? Tell me.
Well, you tell me. Why do you think that they
Well, no, this is
put
the-
a ban? No, you tell me why they did the ban against you. What was your behavior? It was the behavior of your friends. It's the behavior that you do at the county commission meeting all the time.
What behavior is bad? Tell me.
Well, I mean, you have no respect for the commissioners or the staff, and you have a lack of decorum.
A
So,
lack of decorum. Who determines what decorum is?
well, I mean, you obviously are not practicing it.
So what is practicing? What decorum should I? What decorum should I?
What normal people who go in there are like, and not what you guys do to the commission.
Well, what is normal?
Well, you know, that's a good question because you guys have changed that. I've got enough.
How?
I've got enough.
Well, what do you mean you've got enough? We're having a good discussion here, aren't we? Don't run away from me, buddy.
I don't want to have a discussion with you.
Well, why don't you want to have a discussion? It's kind of fun. You approach me. Now you run away from me. Don't run away from me. I just like to chat, dude. Don't go away. Be my friend. I'm not a bad guy at all.
Huh? No, but you
I just record stuff and put stuff out there. Well, how do I encourage the worst? I just ask questions. You don't like questions? You have a nice day, man. I'll see you around. Well, I guess I'm afraid to be on camera is what that gentleman said. I guess he likes the librarians in their rainbow gear, and that's pretty much why he approached me, it sounded like. So anyways, back to all of this stuff here. There's Washoe County Commissioner Mike Clark. Hi, Mark. Hi, Mike.
Hello, hello.
I was just told I've got bad decorum and some nice things from that other gentleman over there.
The good news is you're here and he's gone.
Exactly. And you sent me an email about the community meeting video. I haven't posted that yet. I'll try to post it tonight and forward it back out.
Very good, thanks.
So that way everybody can see what you said and I said and everybody said.
Sure. So I'm just here, to observe what's going on. I don't want to be the life of the party. I just want to be at the party. So here to observe and see what's going on. And I see Oscar getting an interview over there now, so that should be interesting.
There's Oscar right there.
Yeah, Oscar. But Willie, I saw him come over and he's filming you, or you're filming him, but meanwhile I was filming both of you.
Oh, good. Send it to me. Well, I turned the camera. He told me I was afraid to be on camera, so, And what was interesting is he walks up to me and his hand is like this.
Yeah, because turn it off for a second.
Well, we're in a live stream. Let me put you over here for a second.
There's a number of layers of security.
Okay, I'll be right back, everybody.
Checking system was a requirement looks like side this is the public can go and verify and look at that. And I think you're on the call that just doesn't the pressure, the line.
Okay, everybody. Anyways,
If I need to update it or not, because you don't check the date here, but they did tell me I can come down to the registrar's office and verify what my situation is in the registrar's office, which maybe is a good idea. I don't recommend sending a postcard. They did verify that in the return mail envelope will have your signature outside exposed. And I suggested that elections. They said talk to the Secretary of State. I have. And other than that, firstly, the checker system kind of neat, and the electronic voting system themselves, that's another issue. Don't much care for them. I'm a paper ballot guy, and it's our constitutional right to be a paper ballot. I'd like to see us get on board.
So awesome. Anything else you want to say about,
okay. I'm gonna go outside real quick here. Okay, everybody, I appreciate the views here. It doesn't look like County Manager Brown's going to be coming out to this. Was hoping to talk to him directly. He's the one that's really in charge of all of this, and he's the one that's been firing or getting rid of, or telling the registrar of voters that they've got stress and need to take leave of absences. You talked to the deputy registrar of voters, Andrew McDonald, so he talked to us. I appreciate that, and he answered the questions as best he could. Gonna sign this one off here pretty much, and you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, push the subscribe, hit the like, do all that good happy stuff that YouTube helps spread the word, and I can keep growing this channel and bringing more information to everybody. Peace out.